I'm just so confused.
Well, they just got a
No,
whole.
we're not. We're not. We're not.
Okay.
Okay. But I think we are live. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Ash,
Oh, we were having a lot of technical difficulties,
a
as you
lot,
can see. I
a
mean,
lot.
between the children and the mics and the setup, it's okay. We are here.
We's
We
here,
are here.
y'all. We's here,
We are
y'all.
here.
We's here.
And our show is going to be about a couple of current events
So wait, Ash,
today.
before we dive in, girl. Welcome to Hey Auntie and Ash,
Yes.
where we heal generations through conversations.
Yes.
And in the future, y'all, we will be dealing with more conversations that are focused around generation differences in the
Yes.
future.
In the
Okay, so
future.
this show is going to be led by Ash predominantly because I didn't do my due diligence and do my work. I know. But so we want a lot of guest participation,
That
viewer
would be
participation.
wonderful.
And if you can come into the comments and ask us, let us know if there are any topics you want to discuss, current events and things. We might even bring you on the screen if you're
That
screen
part.
ready. You don't have to be perfect, just screen ready. So Ash will be
Okay.
leading and guiding. Ash, I'm turning it
So
over to
there's
you.
a couple of
Oh,
different
wait.
things.
Before you dive in, she's diving in head first. I promise. Millennials, y'all always ready. Y'all really believe in don't get ready, be ready, stay ready.
I'm so ready.
So happy Good Friday. If
Happy
y'all
Good
are
Friday. The Lord is risen.
yes,
Thank you,
he is
Jesus.
risen because he rose. I can stand, I can
Amen.
live and have my
Amen.
being. Okay, so I just wanted to kick it off with that. Ash,
Because
it's
we
on.
love you, oh God. We do.
We do love you. We love you, Jesus. We
Now
love you,
your
Jesus.
people. No, I'm just saying. I love your
Oh,
people.
oh. I hope I don't have my toothpaste. Lord, this shows you what kind of day I'm having. My lipstick on my teeth. Okay,
So
Ash, it's on you.
I have
Turn it on.
had you didn't know this, but I had a stomach virus for the past 2.5 days.
Girl, how did I not know
I'm
that?
like, girl, baby, as the dramatic people say, the devil tried to take me out.
The devil been busy.
But I'm gonna say this. This is just a little tidbit. What helped me is bone broth and ginger shot.
Okay. Bone broth. Wait, bone broth
and
and ginger shots.
shot.
Homemade bone broth. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, I got it. It was store bought by Kettle and Fire. I didn't make
Okay.
it at home. No, I did not.
Okay, so this is a good
And
place
ginger
to
shot.
start. Anything else? I'm going to let you talk about your health, overcoming your health challenge, and then we'll talk about mine. We can give some tips.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay, so ginger, of course, it does. It kills bacteria and germs, right? But then and it also helps with immunity. But then the bone broth helps to replenish the good bacteria. It protects your gut, and it has great immunity benefits. So remember that when that norovirus, stomach bug, stomach flu thing is happening, help yourself out. Amen.
amen and amen. Okay, and so for those of you who do not know, which is probably most of you, because I haven't shared with most of you, I've only shared with my closest folks. I was diagnosed years ago with high blood pressure, hypertension, whatever you want to call it. And I was on medication for years and switched medications because my doctor changed. And he's like, why do they have you on this? The first medication was this thing called a medication called lisinopril. And he's like, no, this is not good for you. And he's like, really, all you need is a diuretic. So I can't even remember the name of that one, but it was a prescriptive diuretic and much milder, didn't really have many side effects, didn't really have any side effects, actually. One little pill a day. And I was taking that for a very long time. And then in 2021, had a conversation with him because I became a pro at how to manage my blood pressure. And I said, I really want to come off of this. He said, well, let's do a trial run. We did. I came off. Then this beautiful thing we all have, if you're watching, this beautiful thing called life hits, I guess. And my sleep has been interesting since 2021. almost barely existent, very weird sleep patterns, all these things. I know what it's tied to when it comes to me. And I had some life challenges, some things that hit that I wasn't expecting, some things from the past that resurface, traumatic things, and my blood pressure just started to spike. But it was interesting of the timing because I was fine from 2021 until the end of March, beginning of April, I think. I think it was like the beginning of April. And my blood pressure was like 187 over 110 or something crazy, something that you would be rushed into the hospital, the ER. And it stayed in the 180s for a while, which of course, because of the sleep deprivation and the sleep disruption and the blood pressure, I was an interesting soul. So even as you see me coming in here or posting things, I've been pushing through. Needless to say, because I know the tricks in the trade to blood pressure and how to manage, I was a little alarmed because it was so high and didn't come down immediately. Now it's about 150 over 90 something. Yesterday it was 152 over 98, I think, which is good for me. Now, average healthy healthy blood pressure is 120 over 80. So I have been doing the things. What are the things for me? And I am not a doctor. See you.
Oh, yes, you're not a doctor. We both are not. We
don't even play doctors on TV.
We don't.
We only have our lived experience.
Yes.
And speak from the expertise of our lived experience.
That's right.
From my expertise and my lived experience, hibiscus tea works for me. Hibiscus tea and beet, whether it's beetroot or I actually have, and this is not sponsored by Goli, but Goli, we open to y'all.
Amen.
Goli, these beets.
Now, I've never seen those before.
I know. This is the Goli Beets Cardio Gummies. And they are good for heart health. Okay. And also energy production, but I don't get any energy because I'm still sleep deprived. But the hibiscus tea is very, very good. I drink it at night. Also, something that's good. There's something else in my cabinet right now. I can't remember the name of it, but it's another kind of tea. No, it's okay. I can't remember, but if I remember before the end of this, I'll let you guys know. But hibiscus, if you have blood pressure challenges and, you've sought after your doctor's counsel and all that, and you need a little extra nudge, the beet and hibiscus tea. And for a while I was making, I have this beetroot powder. I was making smoothies with beetroot powder in it. So the beetroot powder plus the beet gummies and the hibiscus, it's brought it down over 30 points on the top number.
Oh, that's good.
And about 15 to 20 points on the bottom number. And that's natural pretty much. So yeah. Those are just some tips, and I'm feeling slightly better. When my blood pressure is spiked like that, I tend to have horrible, horrible, horrible headaches, and I'm sensitive to light and movement. If I move too fast, I get dizzy, foggy brain. So that's not a good way to live. That's kind of just surviving. So again, we're not doctors. We don't even play doctors on television, but we are the experts at our lived experience. So that's would work for us, and it could work for you. Ash, now we turn it over to you, and welcome to all of you out there. We hope you're having a happy Friday and a good Friday for those of you if it's applicable to you. And so Ash, tonight we're talking about the current events. Ash is going to.
We got a couple of current events, and I said we would not talk about this.
I know, girl. I thought it's on my list too.
I said we wasn't going to talk about this, but then I found out that one of the defendants was from Chicago.
So go ahead, tell the audience, girl, they can't read your mind.
So y'all know y'all boy is he bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
I wonder, is he playing that right now? That's no pun intended.
No pun intended. Nevertheless, y'all got Diddy. Has some alleged allegations against him. From a producer, musician. His name is Lil Rod.
Which
and he's from Chicago.
But that name, girl,
and it's so typical in Chicago to be Lil Rod.
That name, I'm sorry. Especially considering
Lil Rod for
what it's connected to.
Lil Rod for the ride. Nevertheless. Nevertheless, he has had some allegations against Diddy that include Cuba Gooding Jr. Quite interesting. As
And
if they were passing this guy off or whatever. Um, he's a part. Now, this is what people don't know. There are 4 people who are a part of this case. So of course it's Cassie. Cassie was a part of it. There was another woman. They just called her Jane Doe or something, but that was the one with Diddy allegedly and Aaron Hall allegedly. And hold on. And then it was another girl, and she said that they basically Diddy's old it wasn't a manager, he was somebody for Diddy's label or something. She met him when she was 17. And they put on a jet. But then my question is, where your parents? They just let you get on the jet, girl? Where was you going?
listen, there are so many. I'm not
It's
going to
so
go
many
ahead.
hoes. And then after, he's the only guy that's a part of this. So he did the Love album with him.
Wait, this is Little Rod?
Lil Rod did the Love album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Love album with Diddy. And he's saying that around that time, all of these things happened. Diddy allegedly, I guess, drugged him. Allegedly, he was on a yacht with Diddy and Cuba Gooding Jr. And Cuba Gooding Jr. allegedly touched him incorrectly. All of these things. What do you think?
So, I've been kind of ice skating around this topic.
Me too.
Because it is connected to and with a topic that you and I both
very
are
much so.
Advocates for victims. And I never want to speak about things that I have limited information about. However, you and I both believe victims, right? Because I'm sorry, guys, if you look at the statistics, it's very rare. It's not that it doesn't happen, but it's very rare that victims are proven to be liars.
Right.
Whereas more often than not, if people are saying things about from a SA perspective, based on statistics and based on our own experience, right? In our own lives and people that we know who have overcome and all these things and have been victimized, we generally know, generally speaking, the majority of the time, these individuals are telling the truth.
Yes.
And so I've been really cautious about talking about it because it's so high profile. It's this.
It is.
I have never, Michelle, in and of herself, I have never been a fan of P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Yo Love, whatever he's calling himself.
Brother Love.
Whatever. I've never been a fan of him because I tend not to, I'm not attracted to egomaniacs, and he's always been an egomaniac to me. So I'm very turned off by individuals like that who believe their own hype. That's not even just a Christian perspective. That's me before Christ. That's me before I was a Christian. I've never been this big-headed person thinking I am the stuff, and he is. So when I see people like that, I go the opposite direction. So having said all that, I'm not a fan of his anyway. So there's no love lost for me with hearing these allegations against him. What I will say is when you have these high-profile celebrity cases, as with the Jello pudding pop man himself, the Cosby, we can tend to, I've seen both sides of the argument. We can tend to support people and rally around them when we like them, or we like their product, or we like, their talent, their gifts, and we can ignore the glaring signs, right, that are in our faces. So I'll just be transparent here. In the beginning with Bill Cosby, I remember there being some rumor about him trying to purchase NBC and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, they're just trying to come after the black man. And then, but I didn't go public. Nobody knew I felt that way except my husband and my closest folks. And I reserved, judgment against these women. And then I started really paying attention and listening to their allegations. And then I heard a testimony that was suppressed, I think, from years and years and years ago when these allegations initially came out. And he, owned up to the fact that he was drugging these women, Quaaludes. And I'm like, okay, so that's it. He's guilty, period, point blank. And what I will say about this whole Diddy thing, it's a serious, with the Cassie
allegation.
It's all these serious allegations. Cassie, they settled, the appearance of settling. When you settle out of court, it's like you're almost assuming guilt without going public and saying I'm guilty.
I feel like when it came to her, it was too undeniable because everybody knew. You get what I'm saying?
That's my point. And
everybody knew
here's the
that
thing.
He was with this girl.
Just like back in the day, I have some age under my belt. We've been hearing about this open marriage with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith for decades.
We've been hearing about Diddy.
And that's what I was going to say.
Decades.
I was going to liken it to that. We've been hearing about Diddy for decades. We're not in that world up close and personal, but you have discernment. You have common sense. You know what you feel when you see someone. What I will say is this. I want a society that believes victims first. Prove it if you can. But the problem with SA, often you can't prove it.
And that's why they do it.
And that's why they do it. And that's also why often victims don't say anything for a very long time.
Because there is not enough proof. And we tend to not get enough proof until that person has a breakdown, right? It's like, oh, something must have happened now.
Until the person has a breakdown or there are more victims that start to come forward. And your stories are similar. And so
their stories are similar.
Right. They are. And I want a society where these assailants can be stopped. The predators can be stopped when they are true.
Yes.
Where victims are believed always.
Yes.
And if a victim, an alleged victim comes forward and they're lying to get money, we'll prove that too, right? So the Diddy thing, I'm tired of it, honestly.
I am.
I want the larger conversation. And yes, this is Hollywood, Hollyweird. We get all the stories from Hollyweird. We've heard it all. We're on the outside looking in. We've heard it all from various celebrities. I want this to trickle down in such a way that the Diddy effect, it becomes the Diddy effect, the Bill Cosby effect, the Weinstein, however you pronounce that dude's name, effect. The other one that supposedly died by suicide. What was his name? The Epstein effect. And all these others, because it's not just them. What's the one guy who married his stepdaughter? And she was and he was molesting and all
say his name?
I can't remember his name. He's got glasses, older guy. Woody, is it Woody something?
Woody
anyway,
Harris?
No. Let's not do that. No, I can't remember his name. But anyway, the bottom line is
Woody Harris.
Yes, we do. I want this effect to be such that it opens our eyes and our ears to what our children are being exposed to. It opens our eyes and our ears. I saw a story on TikTok. I might have forwarded it to you, where this guy was, he was the father of one of these children, teen children, preteens or early teens. And his daughter, he encouraged her to have a sleepover. And all of her little girlfriends came over and he was drugging them.
And that's crazy.
And one little girl was like, I don't want this smoothie. And he was trying to force it on her. She called her mother, and her mother, being a community parent, was like, let me reach out to these other parents because I'm sure their children haven't called them, because most of the other children, if not all the girls, actually, they did drink the smoothie. I want a society where we are on high alert.
Yes.
And we are highly aware of where our children are going, who our children are around. I want us to protect children, protect women, protect the elderly, protect those who are in vulnerable positions, protect men, protect boys.
Yes.
Because boys are also victims of SA.
Yes.
Diddy, I get it. Let's get him if he's, guilty.
Doing it, but let's get everybody.
Let's get everybody. Let's get uncle who's molesting your daughter or your son. Let's get grandpa. Let's get father. Let's get daddy.
over
let's
as well.
let's stop inviting them because it's a holiday. You know, on
Yes.
Easter Sunday, you're having a Sunday dinner, and you know, weird Uncle Billy or whatever his name is, who's allegedly molested some of the nieces and cousins and brothers and
Stop
sisters.
inviting them.
Why is he at the table?
Exactly.
Can we expand and
Yep.
enlarge this conversation about Diddy? Because what I have found, and I know I sound like an old person, I sound like an auntie when I say this, but what I have found with our increased ability to get our voices heard and be on social media and be seen, be heard, and all these things, what I have found is we live through social media and we stop really living in our real lives.
It's the truth.
So while we're invested in Diddy, you know, I get it. It's a, highfalutin case, as the old folks would say. It's one of those cases, but also I want the little girl down the street to be safe.
That part.
I want the parents to actually be aware and alert and stop focusing so much on their own dreams and visions. When you have a child, your dream and vision, the main one should be raising a healthy, happy, safe child. That should be your main dream and
But
vision.
I want to add to that too.
Priority.
Yes. I think another thing is it's hard for boys to come out. It's hard for men to come out and say something.
Mm-hmm.
And this we don't know, like, if it's true, if it's not true, all of the things. But I really, because some people, I talk to somebody and I love them dearly. He's a grown man. I get what you're saying, but we're talking about a pattern. And once you continue to see those patterns, most likely those people are not, they're not telling a lie, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay. So that's number one. Number two, this is what I'm going to add to it. And we talked about this with Cassie. The little boy in him, how much did he want it? How much did he want it? And how much did he get there and have to give up? And how much has it broken his heart?
Yeah. Because of pursuing a dream, a vision. And then you get there.
And so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be vindicated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I need for also, because little boys do not come out and say what's happening, I need for this man to be vindicated if it is true.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the point. But, and also, you know what I think part of the reason or part of the issue is, and it's not just when men come out. Yes. It's when anyone comes out. When Cassie originally came out, the first thing you heard was, why she waits so long?
Why she waits so long?
So it is the when I say miseducation, I think about Lauryn Hill. You were singing that song a little while ago. But it is the lack of understanding or education around SA victims and perps and those who groom individuals and those who, there are individuals who
and so that was another thing. So people are like, grooming, that's a grown man. They don't understand.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is why I'm cautious when I even say grooming, because we do look at it as, even if you look it up in the dictionary, I think it talks about with children. It actually says something with children. Here's the thing. When you think about corporate America and, you think about the CEO and the CEO dangling a promotion over the receptionist's head, if only she'll allow certain things to happen. Right.
Yeah.
If you let me take you out, if you touch me here, if you let me touch you, if you let me do this, and he's a CEO, that is a misuse of power.
Yes.
So we can look at that and think about grooming. Grooming is anything where you are in a better, higher, more protected position. Whether it's you're the elder and this is the child, you have something that you can hold over this person's head and you can control them. You can get them to do what you want because in some ways they're in a lesser position than you. And that's a high level, really generic definition. But even if we remove grooming, the mere fact that, going back to what you just said about, as a little boy, he dreamed of this position. And then he gets there, and this is what's proposition, right? This is what's force. This is what, well, if you do this, otherwise. And then you have to think too about if this is true based on these allegations, if these things are true, what happens when you get blackballed? Because often that's part of
what happens.
That's part of the control.
If you don't do this, then blah blah. If you go ahead and do this, then I can recommend you to this.
You play the game, I'll open doors for you. I'll recommend you for this. I'll give a good word on that. You don't play the game, you will never make it in Hollywood. You will never make it in banking. You will never make it as an attorney. You will never make it in medical, whatever. I'm just making it. You'll never make it in the education field. There are individuals who are doing this. You'll never make it in the church.
Child,
can we talk about can we talk about that?
And
can we talk about the pastor from the pulpit doing the same thing?
You can't do this favor for me?
I'll make it so that I'll open up doors so you can be on stages across the country if you do this. Hang with me.
But let's also be real.
I have to say this part, because I am a Christian and I believe no matter where I go, I take Jesus with me and the Bible with me. I want to tell individuals who could possibly be victims of this kind of thing, before you launch out and step out into any field, whatever it is you want to do, whatever your dream, vision, or whatever, I want you to sit with yourself and make a list. When I'm always talking about lists, they're important to really write out for yourself. What are you not going to do? Where does your character, your integrity, your moral compass, and your moral values lie?
Yes.
Because even the word talks about money is the root being of all evil. The love of money.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Right. So if you love money more than you love being able to sleep at night,
baby,
get ready for some evil,
and you're gonna be a slave to it, baby.
Get ready to invite evil. You have to have limits and boundaries. Now, does that release the person from responsibility if they've wronged you? Absolutely not. And also, if you're an adult, I'm not talking to children here, but if you're an adult, set your guidelines on what you will and will not do. What does it profit a person to gain the world and lose his soul? Your soul is just, your spiritual identity when you die, what's left of you. No, your soul is also your mind, your will, your emotional capacity, your emotional well-being. What does it profit? What is the profit if you lay on your back and on your knees and do whatever they want you to do? You gain the world, but you lose your mind, your will, your emotional stability, and safety. What does that profit you?
Exactly.
Now we're seeing, we talk about 2024, the year of no more. This is the year of exposure,
baby. And this is I was going to add to that, is like, if y'all think that this is just about Diddy, it's not. It's about everybody that he's connected to and what kind of information that they can get in order to unfold. Matter of fact, girl.
Have you seen the list? Wait, have you seen the list?
The list of what?
The list of all the individuals
that were stated. Yes, and they even saying allegedly that something about Michael Jackson's death was in there too.
Yeah, I heard something about the death. Yeah.
But I heard that allegedly there were a lot of people.
Yes.
That were named
in the church world.
In the church world too.
Whole choirs.
Oh, I ain't surprised, baby, because I've been in rooms where allegedly people was trading cooch for time for musicians. Okay. Nevertheless, I'm not surprised by anything. So when y'all start talking about the church world, I'm not surprised, friends.
So segue. April is Sexual Abuse
Awareness Month,
Awareness and Prevention Month, and also Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month, which is apropos because I was born in April. And just an FYI, we have to, I know, girl, we have to start sharing our flyer. Ash and I will be on a panel for Heal on Purpose with a lot of other Black individuals who will be speaking about on behalf of victims and how to advocate for individuals, how to learn the signs, how to stand up for prevention. So it's really appropriate that we're having this conversation now, which I didn't think about before when we were trying to get a topic.
Yes.
It's really appropriate because that'll be in April. You'll see the flyers. We'll be posting them on our social media platforms. But I know my head and being auntie, I might be like in the more serious tone of it all.
No.
But I really I am so tired. Even, okay, we can get off Diddy for a second. Have you heard about the whole Nickelodeon thing and the Dan, what's his name?
I haven't, Dan Schneider or something?
Yeah, I think it's Dan Schneider.
I haven't watched it yet because I got to get my mind in the space too.
Yeah.
However, the fact that I heard that one of them had been accused and put on a predator list, and they still rehired him. Welcome to welcome to white Hollywood. Because if that had been a black man, it wouldn't have happened.
Well, can't say that because we have Diddy.
And so listen to what I'm saying.
And we have Bill Cosby. We have R. Kelly.
It wouldn't. I'm gonna say it wouldn't have been as open. Like, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say.
I think you mean like in the corporate sense.
Yes, in the corporate sense.
I get that.
What I mean.
Yeah.
So,
I get that.
Yes, that's what was alleged within that documentary, that one of them had been accused and convicted of being a sexual child predator and was on the list and was rehired.
Yeah. And here I keep going back to, when I say this, let me qualify this with the fact that there's no way that we can stop or prevent pain in the earth and bad experiences. And there's no way. You can be the most protective parent in the world. You can't be with your child 24/7. However, when you are able to be with your child, and when you're not able to be with your child, but you have a close relationship with this small person, communicate.
Yes.
Make sure that child understands what good touch, bad touch is. And it's not confined to strangers.
That's right.
It's not restricted to just strangers. It's family, it's friends, it's your daddy, your mother. It doesn't matter who it is. If it feels bad to you, letting your child having
say no.
And yes, the ability to say no and talk to you, that this child will tell you when these things, that you ask questions, that you probe, that you give the child the understanding that they've never done anything wrong. If something bad happens to them, that person did something wrong. So even as you're releasing your children to Hollywood, you still have a responsibility as a parent to parent your child.
Yes. And we can segue into this Ron DeSantis bill. Speaking of giving your children to Hollywood over the internet. And so we never thought something good could come from this guy. Just never thought it. Nevertheless,
a broken clock is right twice a day.
Woo, baby, this the once. You only got one more time. Okay, for the year. Nevertheless, they have a legislation to protect children and uphold parental rights. And so they have a special bill. And I don't know what the name of this bill is. Oh, it's called HB3. That's what it's called.
HB3. Okay, let me look this up.
Which prohibits children under the age of 14 from becoming social media account holders, and allows 14 and 15-year-olds to become account holders with parental consent. So if your child is under 14, they ain't getting nothing.
And they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't.
God,
today.
You're still
it's a blessing, whether y'all believe it or not. So specifically, the bill prevents a minor who is younger than 14 years of age from becoming a social media account holder, empowers parents to decide whether 14 and 15-year-olds can have a social media account, and it protects the ability of Floridians to remain anonymous online. Now, I don't know what that all is about.
I don't either, but
Maybe they finding their teachers or something. I don't know. Because my kids steady walking to me, Miss Wait, you on TikTok? Yes, and I ain't telling you who I am either. Thank you very much, because we ain't friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it says also in addition, and I am reading from his actual page, Ron DeSantis' actual website. It also says, in addition to protecting children from the dangers of social media, HB3 requires pornographic or sexually explicit websites to use age verification to prevent minors from accessing sites that are inappropriate for children.
Good.
These are all good things. I know that some parents don't understand it, but social media is horrible.
Listen, I have to jump in here. It's
it is horrible for children. I'm telling you that as an educator.
You said some parents may not understand or kind of kick against it because, and I don't care, throw tomatoes. I don't care. I'm going to speak from what I believe. It's easier. Social media today is like the television of my day. It's easier to sit a kid in front of a TV than it is to parent them. It's easier to give them free reign on social media than it is to parent them, than it is to engage with them, than it is to play with them and do puzzles and take them outside. It's easier to leave them to their own devices, literally and figuratively, than it is to invest, engage, and really be and educate your children. It's easier to just let them go and be on the laptop or the iPad and being on the phone. It's easier. So you will have parents who will come, now that doesn't make sense. And my child's got a page and my child this.
I don't care. They don't need one. I'm tired of seeing them little flimsy legs dancing all over TikTok.
I'm tired of seeing little babies shaking their booties and people thinking it's cute. When we're talking about predators everywhere. Now, does that mean that they won't be a predator because you stop? Well, I'm not going to contribute to your sickness. I'm not going to give you something to be sick about with my children.
Exactly.
So that's the one good thing, I guess, from Ron.
I think that's one good thing. I think also,
but he's Florida, right?
You said who?
This is Florida or Texas?
This is Florida. And I don't think people, so this is what I'm going to give you a perfect example. When we first found out that my son was diagnosed with being on the spectrum, the doctor told us, listen to this, a child under, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, should only have 1 hour of television.
Oh, yeah.
1 hour.
Yes.
And once we started cutting it down to 1 hour, he started talking more. He started communicating. Like, it was just like, what is happening here? Like, but I don't think that parents understand the more that your child has tangible real life experience, that is the better they are going to be. That is the more they are going to blossom. It opens up their mind,
their level of creativity
and their level of understanding.
To understand, to retain information, to be inquisitive and curious. Taylor was one who she did not like the TV. God gave me a child that did not like television. Like, there was no putting her in front of the TV and letting it babysit her. Not happening. She was into reading books, and I went outside and played with her and went with her friends and did all the things. But these days, and again, to be that kind of parent, you have to be intentional. And to be that kind of parent, it's going to require, even when you put, you punish your child, the timeouts, right? Whether we're soft parenting or whatever, punishing your child punishes you. Because if you're taking something away from them, they're likely going to be in your face bugging the crap out of you all day.
And this is the crazy part. Another thing is we have become distant parents,
of course,
even in our present spaces.
Yep.
And so when you turn that TV off, when you turn that phone off, it forces you to actually be
engaged.
and engage with your
Mhm.
child.
Mhm. And it's easier to give in. Like I said earlier, it's easier to give in, to let them just go be with your devices, than it is to take time out and engage and be present with your child. It's easier,
Exactly.
especially in this day and age when parents are so pro me. I'm about my growth and my vision. I don't have to give
Yeah.
up. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I know this is not going to be the popular opinion. I am not an individual who thinks you come first once you have children. I don't. Mm-mm. I think if your child is dying, if
Yeah.
your child, you have to tend to that child. You may be sleepy, but you got to take care of that child. Now, do I
Yes.
believe that there has to be some level of, I got to take care of myself too? Yes. In
Mm-hmm.
addition to, yes. But you don't, I'm going to pursue this, that, and the other, and your child gets no time with you. Well, just know that whatever you sow into the child, you will reap from that child. If your child now is 7 years old and for the first 5 years of their life, you
And
weren't
you
there.
didn't,
You
baby, they
weren't
gonna
there.
be, you wanna know, you wanna know?
No.
They gonna show
Tell
up in my second grade class and they gonna be missing skills. And it's gonna show you, I'm like, I don't know, because you know what? This is my fault because I worked all that time and I didn't spend no time. And then you're gonna think that I'm supposed to do a miracle. No, 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 friends, I'm not Jesus.
And here's the thing that I truly believe. I think that all things need balance. Do I
Yes,
believe that you sacrifice yourself for your
most
children? No.
definitely.
No, you not sacrifice in the sense that you just don't comb your hair, don't do anything. No.
No,
But I
no.
think there's a balance. I
Yes,
think, okay, are you able to go to grad school and do 12 other things and you're a single mother? Well,
no.
who's taking care of your child?
Exactly.
Where's the
Exactly.
child when you're doing all this? Because I want to make a better life. Do you? Or is it about you and your dreams and your visions? I do believe there's balance. Did I have regrets? Yeah, I did. Because I put Taylor first when she was a child. I put her first in everything. And then when she was in coming out of high school, I'm sitting up like in a position, what do I want to be? What do I want
What
to
I
do
want to
when I grow
do.
up?
Yeah.
Because I paused everything for her. Am I
Yeah.
telling a parent to do that? No, because I did have regrets.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also had limited, very extremely limited resources for someone to be there and support me as I raised
Yeah.
her. I didn't
Yeah.
have that. And then safe
Yeah.
resources on top of that.
Right.
People I could
Right.
trust with
People
her.
that you got. Once again, Taylor. I can't believe Taylor was allowed to come to our house. That should tell you something.
And
And
that's only
probably one of the reasons why was because that other person didn't live with us. So
the other person didn't live with you. And also Taylor was old enough. I'd put enough in her to where she could talk to
exactly.
me and would talk to me if something weird,
Mm-hmm.
something strange happened. Taylor
Exactly.
wasn't going anywhere at 9, 10 years old.
Exactly.
Everything that happened was happening at our place. All her friends came to
Mm-hmm.
us. But as a teenager, now I've put enough in you.
And now
You
you
can get
understand
a
when
few
something is
more
weird.
freedoms.
That's right. You
You
can
can
understand
have
when
a
something
few
weird.
little and even with that, it was Leah's house. It wasn't all her friends.
Oh no, 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 no.
You know
Most
what I mean?
definitely. That's
Like
why I'm like, no. It
that
was
was
only
even that was
yes,
still limited because I still had the reins like, hold up.
yeah.
I'll
And then
forget.
another thing is my mom, crazy part about it is even though that happened, my mom didn't let us go over everybody's house. We
Mm-hmm.
could not go spend a night
Yeah.
at people's
Taylor couldn't
houses.
either
It wasn't none of
until
that.
mm-hmm.
And if somebody came to our house, I need to talk to her mama.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
I
Because
did the same thing. I'll never forget. Taylor was so mad at me. I don't know if she was like 10. It was anywhere from 10 to 12. Can't remember. But this little girl, cutest little girl, the little girl, she might have had a sister, but she had a sleepover
okay.
party. And I went and met the family and all that. But her mother left. And it was just the father in the household.
Oh
Taylor
no.
cried. I was like, oh no, man. Even though I met him and all that, yeah, he seems nice. No, can't do it. Taylor could not for the life of her understand why I said no. That's a man. And he might be innocent. He might love you like I love you. But guess
But
what?
I
I'm not
don't.
gonna risk. I'm not taking a chance.
Not at all.
I'm not taking the chance. Not that women don't molest kids, because they do,
Because they
but the
do
rates are much higher with men
with men.
than women.
And
Okay.
I'm already thinking mine is only 4. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially with all the other things. That's
Yeah,
okay. Would y'all like to come over? Because no.
and that was the thing.
Because
They
I need
came
for him
to
to be able
us.
to communicate. And if
Absolutely.
he is not in a space where he could communicate, that
Absolutely.
with all sleepovers is at the Wicks house.
That was how I ran things, which is how I knew Taylor's friends, and they called me Mama or Ma too, because of that main reason. Like, and we're just too free with our kids now. I speak generally, I don't have any children like that anymore, but you can't trust everybody. I don't care who it is. I honestly don't. And you have to be alert and aware, and you have to talk with your children. But most importantly, you have to listen. You have to listen and observe. If you go someplace and your child acts a certain way around a certain person, start asking questions, start paying
Exactly.
attention, start listening. So this conversation about Diddy and,
And
I guess
yes.
this is our save the children, protect the children
Ah,
show.
now we about to go into protect the women.
Okay,
Now
come
we
on.
didn't talk about this at first, but there was a blogger. Her name was
Hmm.
Jessica Pedway, I believe. And she just passed away. We are still in Women's History Month. And she
Okay.
passed due to having cancer. But this is what's significant about, I want to say significant because we know plenty of people who have been through this.
Right.
This is what was very significant about her story when it came out, was that she was having these pains.
Mm.
And she went to the doctor.
Here we
And the
go.
doctor told her that she just had fibroids.
And she was a Black woman, right?
She was a Black woman.
Yeah.
And it turned out that she actually had cervical cancer.
Yeah. So this conversation has been alive and kicking in my household because for some reason I started watching, oh shoot, what is the name? The Resident.
Okay.
I don't know why we started watching this
You
years after it canceled.
and the uncle?
Me and the uncle started watching this, and we are addicted to this show. And it's about, medical industry, this
Okay.
hospital residents, doctors, interns, all that.
Okay.
And we've been seeing these, it's such a great, intriguing show, even though I'm very squeamish when it comes to, cutting and blood and all that. But it was a
She was
conversation.
literally beautiful.
Oh, she's beautiful. I saw. I'm bringing this up because of an episode that we just saw. I can't remember what season, but it was about Judge Hatchett's daughter-in-law. Judge Hatchett's daughter-in-law.
Oh yes! Oh my God, I remember that story.
The episode was about her. I think they gave the character her name as well, but she went in to have her second baby. And there were complications, and her husband was advocating for her, trying to get the doctors to listen, all these things. Well, guess what? They listened so late. By the time they listened, she was already dead.
Yes.
Giving birth, second baby. The rates of people of color, and specifically Black people, Black women, also men of color, Black women, the rate of infant mortality and mortality of the mother is so much higher. I think they said 4 or 5 times than white women.
Yes.
Because often we are not listened to. Our pain is diminished. We are not looked at as valuable and valued. And when we speak up, if the person holds bias or racism, they look at us as if, how dare this Black woman question this God of a doctor that I am.
I can't believe. Oh yeah,
How dare you little Black woman. So, or you little woman of color. And our lives are just as valuable as anyone's.
But I'm gonna say this. So not only did they find out that she had cancer, she was in stage 3.
Wow.
And I know, let me tell you something. I know that my story of my pregnancy is not it's not the story of everybody. I had a white doctor. And I had fibroids that were 9 to 11 inches.
Wow.
Let me say not inches, but centimeters.
I knew what you meant.
And my child could not turn.
Wow.
Literally could not turn. Okay. And I started having preeclampsia. And it was bad. They had already told me I had already had a scheduled C-section, right? But I went into the doctor and they was like, look, we got to check your protein and you know, all of that and so and so and so. They checked it. They called me back at 3:00 that day on October 3rd and said, pack your stuff. We taking him out today.
Wow.
Now, this was a white lady.
Yeah.
Now, she might in her head said, I don't want this on my hands. Let's just go ahead and do the thing. But I got to the doctor. And let me tell you how much God knows his child. My white doctor had met me there, my OB-GYN. And in comes a Black woman saying that she's going to tag team in the circle. I said, God, if you don't know your child. And I was like, okay, everything's going to be all right. But I understand that everybody is not fortunate, right?
Yeah.
For that to happen. And for somebody to be like, I'm not taking no, I'm not going to wait today. We're not going to wait for no precautions. We're going to make it happen right now. And I wish that for all Black women and for all Black people that we have doctors that's like, we ain't taking no chance. We're going to do this right now.
My only birthed child is 31 as of this week, 31 years old. And my doctor was a person of color. She was a Middle Eastern woman. Okay. And I had a high risk pregnancy because I had seizures, epileptic seizures, and I was on anticonvulsant medication for seizures. And so when I'm in labor, you know, in the process, I was so distraught because I couldn't have anyone in the room with me. She's like, nope, I don't want anyone and their faces in case something goes wrong. To alert you. Having a baby is already stressful and strenuous on your body and can cause the average woman who doesn't have a seizure disorder to have a seizure because of the stress on your body.
Yeah.
So I had to be hooked up intravenously to my anticonvulsant medication while I'm in labor, having the contractions and all the things. And because the struggle was that not only could I have a seizure while I'm in labor, but also Taylor could have had a seizure in my womb. And when you're seizing, you're not breathing. So both of us or one of us could have died. And, you know, that came off without a hitch. They kept Taylor after they released me just to do, you know, the follow-ups test and all the things. But I think even back then, I'm thankful that I didn't, and I hate to say this, but I'll say it this way. I'm thankful that I had a doctor who was a doctor of color.
Yeah.
She wasn't Black, but she listened to me. Now, there were some mistakes made because no pregnancy is perfect, but overall, she listened to me and she actually cared about me. And not that you can't care about someone if they're a different color, race, ethnicity, whatever, because maybe even your doctor being a white woman, maybe it wasn't
in the middle of Georgia.
But maybe here's the thing. Maybe it wasn't just that she didn't want complications on her hand. Maybe she actually just cared for all of her patients.
Maybe.
You know, I mean, a world where we can have that.
That would be wonderful.
Maybe that was her truth. Maybe
that was her truth.
Maybe she saw your color.
And she did. But I'm going to say also.
Wait. Maybe she saw your color and still saw your value.
But then after my baby was born, she was like, if you would like to go with the other doctor, that's okay too.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm okay.
And she was aware enough to say that. What's wrong? I said,
no, I'm okay. And the reason why I was okay was you saw me, right? Like, and I'm okay with that because you saw me.
But, and Ashley, what is wrong with those kind of conversations?
Nothing.
What is wrong with her saying, hey, you can go with the Black doctor if you feel more comfortable? Yep. There is nothing wrong with her saying that. Exactly. I actually applaud her for being self-aware enough and saying it.
Yep.
Like, we are so, you know, don't say Black. I don't see color. You're a dummy. Why do you not see my color? Why do you have to remove my color to see my humanity?
That's right. And they did a darn good job on my Oh, my
Stitches.
incision too. Ooh, woo. It was
Well,
so good that I went to the new OB-GYN. They was like, they do this kind of work in Georgia. I said, yes.
Do you remember your doctor's name? You can give her a shout out now.
What's my doctor? I gotta go back and look. I have to go back and
on
look.
the next show.
Yes, I gotta shout her out. I gotta
we can
shout
give
her out.
honor to whom honor is due, right? Yeah. But yeah, the fact that we can see color, that we can see differences and still honor the value of the person.
Yes.
I don't have to remove your color to respect you and value you.
That's right.
I can actually see that you're white and still not prejudge you and say, well, you just gotta be racist because you're white. No, I can actually see you and say, hey, get to know you for who you are, right?
Yes.
And not ignore the fact that you're white. This goofy stuff. Anyway, this world is goofy. I don't know. Yeah, I guess this show is we're honoring children and women and victims, and I want to help as much as I'm on this earth to empower people to speak their truth, to advocate for others, and most importantly, advocate for yourself.
Yes.
Even if you go into a space and you don't feel that anyone else sees you, it's the most important for you to see you, because that's going to determine how you show up in the world.
Okay, I know exactly who this is. Shout out to Dr. Laura Evers. She is a OB-GYN.
Laura Evers?
Laura Evers.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. She's the OB-GYN at Piedmont Noonan Hospital.
In Georgia?
In Georgia. Mm-hmm. In Noonan, Georgia. And also, the lady who also helped her is Dr. Guster. Yes. But shout out to
Dr. Evers and Dr. Guster.
Yes.
I like that. I like that a lot. Give honor to whom honor is due. Good
did
job.
Did you watch Damsel? I don't think so.
Girl,
Why did you not do that?
Wait.
Why did you not do that?
Wait.
Netflix, and we looking for us to be sponsored too, because we want to come out to the movie.
I know, wait. I went to Netflix and saw the thumbnail, the cover, and then saw that it was listed as fantasy. I was like, oh, you can miss me with this one. I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I don't know that I have the capacity or the bandwidth.
You gotta have an imagination, friend.
I had a rough childhood. I didn't have an imagination.
I did too, but that's the only thing that kept me out of my shot.
That's a good conversation to have at another time. Because I'm laughing as a joke, but I really didn't have an imagination as a child. Most people say they lived and
they kept me was Kirk Franklin songs and Disney Channel and movies. So that should tell you why I love acting and I love arts, because that's the only thing that helped.
Well, the only thing that kept me, especially not being raised in a church and not having God, that I knew I had him. He had me. I just didn't know I had him. But the only thing that kept me during that time, there were two things.
Okay.
Let me wait as I say that, because I'll probably remember something else. It was television, and one show was Little House on the Prairie. I have said this and I will continue to say it. Little House on the Prairie.
I've never seen that show.
Girl, to this day, I will watch Little House on the Prairie episodes. It is so good, and it's beyond what you think it is. It is the show that gave me the concept or the hope that good family, safe family could exist. Okay. The only thing. I saw a father who would fight for his family, who loved his wife, who loved his children, who would physically fight for them, who also laid down his life for them, who also raised them within the admonition of the Lord. I saw that. I saw them struggle, yet love was still very prominent. I saw morals and values and having high integrity. I saw all of that. And that's the only place I saw it, because it wasn't in my real world. And also, this is probably not a good one, but this is not a good one because of the innuendo. Three's Company, girl.
I love Three's Company.
I still to this day love me some Three's Company. This is where my sense of humor comes from. But it was innuendo, sexual innuendo all around the place.
Was it?
Oh, girl. It was always
I be
something.
calling my kids all kind of things, like different characters and stuff, different characters from different shows. Three's Company. They be like, what Three's Company? I don't know what is
It's
it?
a great show. I
It
think
really
as I'm
is.
looking back now, though, I could
Right.
see when I was a kid,
So
it was
were
just
they
funny.
listening to? I mean, let me tell you something.
It was
Because
always based
back
on
in the day,
misunderstandings,
it
and the
was
misunderstandings were.
Nickelodeon and Nick at Night.
No, see, no, I didn't. I'm older, so I didn't have that.
It was
But
Nick at Night. It was the was it the monsters and the I know it was the Frankenstein people. I forgot their names. It was also
the
I Love
Addams
Lucy.
Family.
The Addams Family, amen. It was also I Love Lucy. It was
That's my
also
other one. Girl, don't start.
Ricky.
Don't stop. That's I told you I would think of something
Lucy.
else. Listen,
It's a Ricky Ricardo.
I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy.
Yes.
Three's Company and Little House on the
Dream of
Prairie.
Jeannie was my show too.
Mm-mm.
That's the thing you. And I was sitting in the room watching a color television be black and white because that was the only color it was coming in for some of them shows. It was not in color.
Yeah, Lucy was my girl. That was
Lucy and Apple Baby. They was about their life. Okay.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Yeah, those were the shows. But you see, when you mention certain shows, I'm like, oh no, thank you, because it's fantasy. Like Jeannie, I wasn't into anything that made me.
She'd be like, yes. Oh yeah.
It had to be real for me.
Okay.
Which is so weird. Like, like. Okay, so this was a show.
It was.
This was an episode.
It was. Okay,
so
y'all.
Ash, wait, before you close, quick question. How would you sum up the overall messaging of this episode?
I would say the sum of it is that we need to listen. We need to listen to our communities. We need to listen to our children. We need to listen to our women. We also need to listen to our men and our boys, especially. Mm-hmm. We need to protect our children. We need to protect our women. We need to protect, especially our boys. And we didn't say this, but we need to retrain the minds of our boys as well on what is inappropriate. Everything is not a bag. It's not a point. This is inappropriate, and your body is a temple. Okay. And then also like our children need censorship. Right?
Yes.
Our children need censorship.
That's the point of the parent.
Yes. Our children need censorship. So I think this show was for everybody.
I agree. This is a good episode. And I would say that especially for the boys, because as you say, like the way that they look at sex and the way that they're trained about sex, compared to, as opposed to how girls are trained and talked about with sex, it's not a notch in your belt.
Exactly.
If you're underage having sex, male or female. And it's not a notch in your belt if some older woman or man or whomever is trying to get in your body on any level. That's not a notch. You're not the man because of that. Because here's the thing that I want every person to know, be it underage or of age. Physical experiences have emotional outcomes.
Yes.
I don't care how you say, well, it didn't affect me. Okay, but how are you showing up in the world now as it pertains to relationships? It affected you emotionally, internally. It affected you, whether, even if it's not, even if it's not out in the open and it's flashing the blaring lights and you can't see it. But how do you look at women? What is your thought process as it pertains to women today?
That part.
It affected you. Or men. How you perceive men. Because I know the things that we've experienced.
I think next, that would be great to have our brothers on for that episode.
Yes.
Where we talk about consent for men, right? And what SA looks like for men, right? And all of those things, because rarely do we talk about those things like that.
Because
and it's
and most
important.
of us, Ashley, I'm sure if I asked you this question, you'd probably say yes. Most of us know some guy, or in our family, there's some guy who has an experience. He was a teenager and some older woman
Yep.
got with him
And was
and
touching on them or anything. Yes.
or had full-blown sex with him, and he thought he was the man because this
Oh yeah, I'm
22-year-old
a man.
woman
Yeah,
slept with
exactly.
him, and it was
No,
actually SA.
she
It
just
was actually
assaulted you, sir.
molestation. You were 14. You were
Well,
not of age.
another thing is we don't instill ideals, right? About a young man's body. We instill ideals about a young woman's body. Oh, you don't give that to everybody. You blah blah. You so and so. Whereas boys need that same thing. You don't give that to everybody.
Yeah.
Your seed, helps to bring forth life. Like you have to protect it. Like all of the things, we don't tell them those things.
Yeah. And that, because it's more like we're the receptors, right? We're the ground. We're the ground that you plant your seed in.
Yes.
But without the planting of the seed, the ground reaps no harvest.
Well, we can't talk about it all today, which also lets us know that both people in a relationship is the prize.
They're the gift, both of them. And I did not send you the clips from last week. I'll send you those.
No, you didn't, because I tried to record it.
You didn't
Facebook
tell me.
And I was trying not to be a nuisance either.
No, you should have just said, Auntie, do you have the clips? Because I have them. I just didn't send them.
We know this came from us. No, we're not doing it. Thank you for your time.
I did not send them. I'll send them to you. But yes, we're both the gift. It takes both of us, right?
But we can't talk too much because we're giving out the show. We thought.
Okay. So we're going to try, Ash, we're going to try for next week to have the brothers on.
We can try.
I asked her this on camera so that she's being held to it. Okay.
First of all, I be asking. I do.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, y'all. Ash, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let's go ahead and do the things. So, number one, we would like for you to like, share, and subscribe to the Hey Auntie and Ash podcast YouTube page. And remember, you can always send in your topics as well. I don't care if you put it up under the comments. Say something. Okay. You can also follow me on Instagram at iamashjanelle and on Facebook as Notes with Ash, on YouTube as Notes with Ash. And then also you can follow Auntie at ash.janelle, the voice, on Facebook and Instagram, and Coach Michelle Jackson too.
She meant Facebook. YouTube and Instagram, but yeah, oh, well, actually both, but it's fine. Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
But most importantly, go subscribe to our Hey Auntie and Ash YouTube page right now.
Y'all got to go over there.
Got to go over there.
Do that. Okay.
Right now.
We would like to thank you for tuning in and meet us next Friday at 7 p.m.
Thank y'all.
Bye.